Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, I got a story that was sent to me by my brother. He sent me my brother Rod. Thank you. Shout out to Rod for sending me this story. And I wanted to go ahead and get it to you guys this morning about this Beauty Mart store that they have hair products. They were evicted, you guys, and all of the merchandise was sat out in the parking lot, and people started going to social media to tell people to come out and get this, what they called free merchandise. Well, it got to be so big that the police department was called in and they put a stop to everybody that thought they were going to get something free. Y'all, you have got to see this video. I'm going to play my intro and I'm going to be right back.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
All right, you guys, good morning. Hey, everybody. Listen, hubby and I are here and we're going to give this story to you guys. Shout out to my brother Rod for sending me this story. This happened yesterday about 5 p.m. I think he got the news of this, that this story was going viral on social media, where there is a Beauty Mart store, and this is a huge store in Clayton County, Georgia. And this store was evicted yesterday, and all of their merchandise was sat out on the parking lot on the ground. It was so bad, you guys, that people started going viral on TikTok, social media, different places, telling people, come out here and get this, what they call free merchandise. Well, it turns out that the merchandise was not free. It was not free. And the police were not playing. Let me go ahead and share this screen with you guys, and we're going to have a conversation about this. This was shocking to see this. And it's sad also at the same time that people feel as though just because somebody's items are taken from the building that they were renting and now is sat out in a parking lot, that people feel like they have a right to just go ahead and remove those items and take it to their homes. Well, that's not really the case. And I'm going to share more about this after I play this video. Now, let me get this video set up on here because this was a little off here. So let me see if I can adjust this to make this. Here we go. Let me go ahead and adjust this so that we can get this to play good for you guys. But this was sad at the same time, shocking. Let me share this.
Plaza in Clayton County earlier today. Hundreds showed up to a beauty supply store that deputies had just evicted, hoping to get some free merchandise.
Instead, law enforcement swarmed the area and put an end to that. Fox 5's Rob Durienzo is live tonight at that shopping plaza. And Rob, you spoke with Sheriff LaVon Allen.
I did. That's exactly right. Good evening to you both. We'll show you what he said in just a moment. But the people I spoke with said they didn't come down here to steal anything. They thought this mountain of merchandise sitting in front of this beauty store behind me was fair game. And then, as time went on, hundreds of people showed up.
First it was calm, and then I guess everybody made a phone call, and it got a little out of control, a little like Freaknik 96.
Soon after, Clayton County deputies evicted this beauty supply store off Terra Boulevard, dumping their inventory in the parking lot. A lot of people showed up, hoping to snatch up some free stuff.
Wigs, braided hair, makeup, lashes, earrings.
Instead, Clayton County Police, sheriff's deputies, and Riverdale Police created a perimeter around the merch. Then they brought in dump trucks and vans carrying incarcerated workers to clean it all up.
When citizens are evicted, things are up for grabs. So
No.
he's assuming that the things were up for grabs.
And a lot of people we spoke with say that was their impression showing up here too.
And as somebody who is in the beauty industry, it definitely would have been helpful.
Kids could use the supplies for hair, it's book bags in there, it's shoes in there, because the hair store sells all kind of things.
Georgia law says once a judge issues what's called a writ of possession in eviction cases, deputies can go in and toss out the tenant's belongings. Once it's in the street, those belongings are generally considered abandoned.
People get evicted on the street. They're not like this. They don't make sure people's stuff don't get touched when we get evicted.
Fox 5's I-Team found a judge granted a writ of possession to the store's landlord 2 weeks ago, which deputies served this past Friday. So I asked Sheriff Levon Allen why he doesn't consider this property abandoned. And they could do a lot of good with it versus it just going to sit in a dump somewhere. Whose property is it now? And if you couldn't hear too well at the end, it was a little difficult to listen to. Sheriff Allen said essentially that this was the store's property. But meanwhile, these people here really, they had a different understanding of this all. And again, our reading of the state law was that this was essentially abandoned property. Russ?
Well, obviously the property has value, but it certainly looked like it had been thrown out like trash. Rob, do we know where those trucks ended up? Where'd they take all that merchandise?
And Russ, that's a question a lot of people even still have been coming by and asking, where did they put all of this stuff? I want to show you a video that Lovejoy Police posted a little while ago. They say these are these products in the landfill. They say all of those items are being destroyed, telling people not to show up at that landfill, adding they will be monitoring the area. Russ, back to you.
So much interest in all of that stuff. Does seem like a waste for it to end up in a landfill. Rob, thanks.
All right, you guys. So let's have a talk about this, a couple of things. And then we're also going to show you there's a TikToker who posted this also and had something to say. Now, there's a lot of people that said that the stuff was abandoned, but that may not be the case because in Georgia, the tenants have a right to get their stuff between a certain amount of time. Now, once the stuff is set out, let's talk about this a little bit because hubby and I are in, we do real estate for investors and we deal with renters and tenants. So that's why this story was interesting to me because the stuff was set out on, they said they got the writ on Friday, but this story aired yesterday. So let's just say that this stuff was put out on yesterday at about 5 o'clock. The law, I believe, in Georgia, and I'm going to clarify, we're just running the story real fast, states that you have to give them, I believe, 48 hours to be able to retrieve their items. So I don't think that they were given that time to retrieve their items because as soon as the people put the items out there, other people started coming to try and remove it, and then the police department was called out. What's your thoughts on it, babe?
I think if the tenant or whoever owns the merchandise is not there to secure it after the police put it out there and then leaves, I think it's up for grabs. Okay. So if that's the case, then yeah, it's up for grabs. But then here's the other part to that. This was not a private, a residential lot. This is a public lot, but it's on private property. That parking lot belongs to the shopping center owner, not that Beauty Mart person. So the Beauty Mart was leased by a commercial owner who owns the entire parking lot, which that is considered still his private property, a commercial private property, right? That parking lot. But the tenants weren't there to secure the merchandise. Yeah, you could be right with that. Those tenants were not there. And good morning, Sabrina. Thank you for being here in the chats also. That is something. That's something to think about. Let's go over here to what this TikToker had to say because we still don't know why was such a huge store evicted. Why weren't the tenants paying their rent? Why were the tenants there when the eviction was taking place? But we don't know if they were there because we don't have the beginning of that story. We just have once the news medias were there and once the TikTokers were there, we have that information. But listen to what this one TikToker had to say. Now, there was another story on TikTok, but you guys, TikTok took that video down. But they left this particular one
up. So let's hear what she had to say, and then we'll continue the conversation. This is interesting when it comes to real estate, commercial real estate, and the eviction process. And we're also going to discuss, why did the police officers and chief of police think that it was okay to take the items to a landfill? Now, I'd have some concern about that as far as the legal aspects. Does that beauty owner have the right to now sue the police department for destroying their items? Or like you said, they weren't there to secure it.
Yeah, they weren't there to retrieve it after it was put out on the
parking lot.
The parking lot. They should have trucks or something there ready to, when they put it out there, load it in their trucks and secure it. But I guess they said
too much stuff.
Yeah, too much stuff. Enough is enough. We out of here.
Wow. Let's hear what this TikToker had to say about this story.
Did y'all hear about this beauty supply store getting evicted? Baby, y'all got to come on in here and grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into it. So apparently earlier today, a beauty supply store called Beauty Mart was evicted from a plaza in Clayton County, Georgia. Now, it's kind of sad, but according to reports, the owners have passed away and the heirs are no longer able to keep up the rent on the property, so they have been evicted. So the people who came to evict them was putting all of their stuff out in the parking lot in this plaza. Baby, I'm talking about boxes on top of boxes of braiding hair, wigs, lashes, anything you will find in a beauty supply store, honey. They was throwing it out in the middle of the damn plaza. So, of course, the people that are visiting this plaza start seeing what's going on, and they start posting on social media saying, hey, they are evicting this beauty supply store. They're throwing everything out in the parking lot. Everything is free. They about to let us have it, so y'all better come on down here. And that is exactly what people do, honey. They scurry straight on down there, baby. They said it wasn't even no room to park in the plaza. People was parking all at the gas station down the street, all kind of stuff, trying to get down there to get this hair. Now, the people that were evicting them said, look, y'all got to wait until we get all of this stuff out the store before you can get anything. So they told them they had to wait for 3 hours. Baby, it's 104 degrees in Louisiana. I don't know how hot it is in Georgia, but I know it's an equivalent. And these people was out there waiting for that 3 hours to get that stuff. But baby, now that the store is cleaned out, officers of the goddamn law done showed up and said they couldn't get none of the stuff. According to Atlanta News First, at least 500 people were looting from a pile outside the store, and the Georgia State Patrol showed up. Now again, the video that I saw, the man was saying, hey, y'all wait 3 hours and then y'all can go ahead and have at it. So some people have been getting out of the area with some of the stuff. But as of right now, they say that the police is surrounding all the items and not letting people get anything. Now, y'all know I work in property management. Once we evict somebody and we throw the stuff out on the street, it's fair game. Anybody can come up there and get it. But I'm guessing they might try to say that this is private property where the plaza is located, and that's the reason why the people can't get the stuff. I really don't know why they're stopping the people from getting the stuff, but I heard that they was pepper spraying people and also arresting people for trying to take the stuff. Now, again, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I do know that the police were called, and these people are now not allowed to get any of the stuff and take it away. Baby, officers of the goddamn law got the place surrounded, and they got helicopters on the scene with the gangster lean trying to stop these people from partaking in this beauty supply heaven. So Double D is going to stay on top of this to see exactly what happened. Now, that local news was calling this looting. I wouldn't call it looting because, again, when I evict somebody and I put their stuff on the side of the road, it's fair game. Anybody can come up there and get it. I can't stop anybody from coming and getting things that I have deemed trash. And they have deemed this stuff trash because it's been thrown out on the street. They don't want it anymore. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this situation played out, honey. It is too hot. I know Double D wouldn't be standing out there, honey, but I know there's a lot of people that would. Players, would you do it? Would you stand out there for 3 hours with the hopes of getting some free beauty supplies? Y'all run it up in the comments. This is Double D Mo for the Black Here News.
All right, you guys. So that's her take on this. Now, let me go over here. Hey, Pastor Lorenzo, thank you for being here. Say, hey, family, until we hear from the owners or their representatives, we won't know the real story. Yeah, we do know this much of it. You read that story today, baby, and you said that this person, they were evicted and they owed how much?
$15,000 in back rent.
$15,000 in back rent. And this was in Clayton County. And they could have owed that at the time of the filing, but the filing could have taken a while after they filed it. It could have taken a few more months for them to actually get a court case and to actually get this writ. So the 15,000 could accumulate to actually be more than that amount. Now, the person that was on that TikTok stated that the person who owned the store allegedly passed away. I haven't been able to verify that information, but something had to transpire regarding this. Now, let me go back to this issue where we're talking about how long do a tenant have to collect their belongings from a property after it's put out. Now, here's an article that I found. There's two things that I want to take a look at here, and I'll give you guys some details on it. And this is where you're going to have to make sure that you watch and see what state, because some people, when they go on social media, they say, well, we don't do that in this state, but then another state person listening in another state think that they have that same right in their state, but they don't.
The laws are different in each state.
They're different in each state. Now, one article said on here on Google, it said, this is regarding Georgia eviction laws. As far as how long does a tenant have to remove their items once the items are removed from the property? And it says it depends on how quickly they can execute the writ once it has been released. If the tenant leaves behind any belongings, the landlord is under no obligation to legally secure the items. The landlord is under no legal obligation to store them or allow the tenant time to retrieve them. They can dispose of them immediately. Now, that's in Georgia. So those of you who are in Georgia and you may come home and your things have been removed and you say, well, where's all my stuff? You guys didn't give me time to get my stuff together, and you want to possibly turn around and now try and sue the landlord for placing your items out in the lawn and people stealing your things. In Georgia, you have no case. You have no case, because once the items are set out, and what that word set out means, they're removed from your house and they're placed on your front lawn, in your driveway, wherever they're placed, they're outside of the house.
And if you're not there to retrieve it when it's put out there, then it's up for grabs.
It is up for grabs. The person, your landlord, is not responsible for storing your items. The landlord, this is in Georgia now, this is in Georgia. The landlord is not responsible for storing or securing your items. But listen to this, you guys, because we have viewers that watch our show from all over. So in different states. Now, here's an article, and I'll put it in the description of this video later. It says what to do with tenant belongings after eviction. And this is for all states. It says this: if you're a landlord that happened upon personal belongings a tenant left behind after an eviction, don't head to the dump just yet. Or you may find yourself in another legal battle. If you're a tenant, you should be aware of your rights if you have to leave in a hurry during an eviction process and couldn't take everything with you. Now, some people, let me pause right there, because some tenants, they're there when the eviction takes place. They say, let me get a truck. But still, the eviction process is still happening. The movers are still moving your things out, and they go to get the truck. And in some cases, the sheriff will leave and the items are left there unattended.
Right.
And so the neighbors and everybody and other people will come and say, oh, this is free stuff. Don't move so fast. Check your state laws. Check your state laws. Now, I know as far as in Georgia, when the eviction process is going on, the marshal or sheriff or constable that is there will not allow anyone to remove any items as long as they are there watching these movers remove things. But once the marshal, sheriff, or constable moves and leaves from that property, then it's up to whoever's there if they want to go ahead and retrieve those items. But again, back to the person when they're going to get their truck. You can't tell a marshal or sheriff, hey, don't leave until I get back.
Usually, if the tenant that has been evicted have a truck there and they load up the truck and they said, oh, we're going to take it to storage, they'll leave a family member there to watch over the other stuff.
Right.
So looters and other people won't come and try to steal their stuff. And they'll come back and load up and stuff like that. But
right.
If no one is there if you load up a truck and then you leave and decide to come back, you might not have the stuff there when you get back.
It might not. So let's get back to this article. It says it's important to know that every state has different rules regarding what landlords can and can't do with the abandoned property after a tenant is evicted. And then it has down here, find your state mandated tenant property holding periods and other tenant information below. Now, Look at this. It says, while rules in every state vary, landlords stick to the following steps for abandoned belongings after evictions. And they name a few. It says, 1, the landlord or cleaning crew disposes of anything deemed to be garbage. And they go on to different things, catalog items, and so forth. Then it says number 6, and I'm not going to read all of them because I'm going to put this in the description for you guys. It says, if a tenant does not collect their items or their possessions, the landlord disposes of or gives away or sells them. Here's some laws down here. Now, let's say if you're in Alabama and you get evicted, all right? You get evicted. They have a personal property holding period after eviction. Okay. Now, the personal property holding period is those items. They either have to hold those items for you, secure them, or you've got a certain amount of days that those items have to be held. In Alabama, it's 14 days. So if a landlord evicts somebody in Alabama, and then those items, like if this particular case would have happened in Alabama, then that store owner could have came and sued the sheriff department for removing their items from the parking lot and putting them in that dumpster. Mm-hmm. They could have sued them.
So the landlord in Alabama would have to find a place to store the stuff for 14 days before they could throw it out.
It appears that this is what they're saying. And there's a difference. In Connecticut, it's 30 days. And that could be very costly for some of these landlords to store this stuff. But in Georgia, it's 0. Mm-hmm. 0 days, you guys. Georgia, the landlord is not responsible for holding anything. Now, I'll see if I can get some more information about this, but this is sad that these owners had to be aware that there was an eviction process that was taking place, and they should have, this is just my thought, you could not come up with the money or chose not to pay, or whatever the case may be. And I just can't see this huge store not being able to pay that rent. But in that event, I would have said, why wouldn't you just have a crash sale, sell everything $1 each, a closeout sale, sell everything $1. Everybody come in $1, just sell. So I'm thinking that maybe something did happen to these owners. Maybe the employees that were there weren't checking the mail. They weren't, there was nobody who was placed as far as in charge to know what happened once the owners pass away. Maybe that wasn't the case. And here's a valuable lesson to business owners. You need to have a form in place that if you are not capable or you have now lost capacity to run your business, who's next in command? And do they know all the things that they need to know to run your business, including who you're paying your rent to and how to get those payments to them? So this is a very valuable, important message that people need to do. I'm going to get this one over to Pastor Grant because we need to talk about this on Her Money Monday as well, as far as security measures to put in place for stuff like this. Going back to these tenants, they had to know that they were being evicted. They get the notice. Mm-hmm. They have plenty of time before that court date comes up. Why didn't they have the sale? What happened? Or were they not there? They may have just abandoned the building themselves and not even come in. And therefore leaving the marshals to be able to go in, change locks, remove everything, and then this story aired. Well, I want to thank my brother Rob for sending me this story. Thank y'all so very much for watching. Thank y'all so very much for being here. Listen, we've got another story to tell you guys that we're going to be coming up here shortly about also, because remember the liquor store where the nightclub where the judge got arrested. Remember that one? Well, you guys, they have now been evicted. They've been evicted, you guys. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to have my husband, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and run that one. Should we just go ahead and run that one now? Or should we just close and, you know what? I'm going to close and come back, you guys. I'm going to close and come back because let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm going to go and do that thumbnail. But thanks for hubby for being here. Now, you guys know my motto as we close out. Y'all remember to be loving and kind to one another. Love one another, but most importantly, love yourself. And pray for these business owners, you guys, because not only does this business leave that community, I mean, people now have to go to another store to get their products, which means probably a further away distance, and the jobs are gone. So now we have another abandoned building sitting. where some people see this was an opportunity for them to get free products. The way I look at this, you guys, from the business aspect, we've now lost another business that can employ employees. So now you've got another abandoned building. We've got to get that building filled again. And hopefully someone would come in with another great product or another store to fill that position. All right, you guys. So we're going to be right back with another story about the nightclub that has now faced eviction. And I believe that gentleman was arrested when he even went to court. Right? We're going to be right back with that one. All right. We'll see y'all back here shortly. Click that notification bell to be reminded because we're about to go live in another few minutes. See y'all.